him. Guess what? It's just gone-ish 10 o'clock. It's a Sunday. And that can only mean one thing. It's time for the weekly news roundup and opinion, where I talk about the news that's gone on this week and give my opinion on it, which you may or may not agree with. It's fine if you don't agree. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. You listen to this on podcast. Join in the chat as well. Why have we got no picture? What's going on there? It did have a technical issue. Oh no, there we go. Yeah, we're off again. Right then, so let's carry on where we didn't leave off. Yeah, bit of a delay there, bit of a technical hop. But yeah, we're going to talk about the news this week. If you're in the chat room, feel free to join in the chat. You get a shout out at the end. Like I said, you can agree, disagree with me, that is fine. The whole point is we just talk about what is going on in the world, put our opinions across and see if we can solve the problems that no one else seems to be able to do. At least that's what we try and do anyway. Whether it works or not is another thing. I normally get some regular people on, but it's always nice to have new people as well. Hi T. New people always have a different opinion, and we like that. So don't forget, you can like, share, subscribe, join in the chat, or alternatively comment in the comments section, the Sean Allah section of the section. Boris is back. No, he's not. Don't panic. Don't panic, everyone. He's not back, really. Although maybe we could do with him coming back. No. Let's not do that. Anyway, let's look at the news that's been going on this week. So this is this week's news. Hiya, John Higginbotham. Hope you're well. From good old Stockport. It's the news in Stockport, so it is. And yeah, hope you're good. Hope everyone is good where you are and whatever you're up to and everything as well. Right then, we've got the cat in here as well, so that's going to make life more interesting. It's a bit wet and windy and a bit stormy, so she didn't want to go out today, which I don't blame her for, to be fair. Lainey, hello, and Wolfie as well. Wolfie? Oh, Wolfie. Oh, Wolfie. We've got two doggies that watch. We've got Rollo, who's the sausage dog, and we've got Wolfie, who is a puppy, and they both watch the thing. Well, I don't know why the Wolfie does. I'm not sure Rollo does, to be fair. But anyway, shall we crack on with news? So Monday the 23rd of September, Rachel Reeves, on her speech at their conference, said they are a party that represents working people. They might represent them, but they don't respect them. And this is going to be a budget of real ambitions at the end of next month. And she says that you know, they've done well because they're stopping all the strikes and everything. Well, doggy's asleep. Okay, fair enough. They've sorted all the strikes out. They've given a massive pay rise to the rail unions. They've sorted out the junior doctors and all that. She said how great they are. Now she's going to get retention and she's going to help the NHS. At the exact moment that the nurses reject 5.5% pay rise, and why not? Seeing what the other people got, I think I'd reject a 5.5% as well. Why are we not worth as much as junior doctors, as train drivers? You've basically don't know what you're doing, and you've opened up a can of worms for yourselves, which I did predict before they even got elected. Not that what they've actually done, I didn't think they'd be this bad, I'll be honest, but I knew they were going to be bad. Well, apparently I'm online. 492 were killed in Lebanon by the IDF. Airstrikes. Benjamin Netanyahu says war is with Hezbollah, not the people of Lebanon. But obviously he doesn't understand that concept after what he's done and still doing in Gaza. He's a dictator. But he's elected, but he's still a dictator. He's still an absolute war criminal and needs to be got rid of, removed. Get someone in there who actually knows what they're doing and who's actually going to look for peaceful opportunities. NE, nice to see you as well. A 40-year-old woman and an 8-year-old girl are found dead in a house flat in Salford. Police not looking for anyone else. A tragic case there. 11,500 migrants have arrived on our shore since Labour took power. Remember, they were going to stop the boats by smashing the gangs. And yeah, we've actually had more people in the same period this year than we had last year, and the weather's been worse. So they can't say, well, the weather was better than it was last year. No, it's worse. New Defence Secretary says teenagers who play Call of Duty should sign up to be drone pilots in the army. And they're going to remove various restrictions for you joining the army, including if you've got hay fever, asthma, or acne. And that's so that the people who play Call of Duty can actually join the army. Also the height restriction as well. And I'm like, hang on a minute. It's a bit, yeah, everyone who plays Call of Duty's got acne, hay fever and asthma. I find that very offensive. And I don't even play Call of Duty. Yeah. Silence is around, she's okay. Thank you for asking, John. More video silence for next week's vlog, which probably won't happen this week. Unless something else happens, but nothing's really happening, so I'll probably do 2 in 1 next week, like I've been doing recently. Brings us to Tuesday the 24th of September. Starmer says there is light at the end of the tunnel. Now, I've used this analogy of the tunnel and light at the end of the tunnel. And I remember saying that when I was in level 2 Market Street shop, I know there's light at the end of the tunnel. The problem is I'm on a different continent than where the tunnel is. And then when I moved to the galleries, people who were from Wigan will get this, when I moved to the galleries, I was actually in the same country, no, my continent, and then ended up being in the same district and the same town, and then of course the council not doing the whole thing. So that messed me up again. But no, there is light at the end of the tunnel. The problem is Keir Starmer and his cronies, or the lads as we now call them, lads, are going away from the tunnel. He says it's a time of national renewal and reinvention, and there are tough choices ahead, and we need a cool head as well. And we've got, what was that silence? We need a cool head? No? Okay. She didn't like that cool head thing. What are you doing? Anyway, we need a cool head, and we've got to free the sausages. Sausages. Back to Rollo and Wolfie. Yeah, he made a Freudian slip on stage saying that we need to have a ceasefire in Gaza and to free all the... He might say hostages, but he says sausages. I don't quite understand how you get that wrong, but you know, what can you do? Over 550 killed in Lebanon, which he doesn't seem to care about. He's all interested in Gaza. In strikes by the IDF, including one Hezbollah leader and 20 military commanders. The UK sends troops to Cyprus to evacuate Brits from Lebanon, if needed. Apparently some of the rocket strikes are near the airport, so a lot of airliners are now saying, and air carriers, that they no longer wish to use the airport in Beirut, which, you know, is what you expect, I suppose. 25th, which was a Wednesday, still September. Is Israel about to invade Lebanon on the ground to attack Hezbollah? Starmer has gone to New York after his successful triumph at the Labour Party conference in Liverpool, and he says Brits should leave Lebanon. You know, I'll be honest with you, I think a lot of Brits want to leave Britain at the minute, the way he's going with this country, but there you go. Almost 200 women now come forward over Al-Fayed. Now Al-Fayed was the father of the alleged, I don't know whether they actually announced they were engaged or not, fiancé of Princess Diana, both of who died under tragic circumstances in a underpass car crash in Paris many, many years ago. And he was trying to fight to get justice for his son and Diana, saying it was a fix by the, well, it was a hit by someone in the royal family, kind of naming Charles, but not naming Charles at the same time. Anyway, it turns out Al-Fayed was a bit of a, well, worse than even Prince Andrew, by the looks of things. And now questions are being asked about the team around him. Were they protecting him from prosecution? As I mentioned last week, the police went to the not the ISS, no, they didn't go to ISIS. They went to the IPC to try and get charges brought against Al Fayed over sexual misconduct, including rape and various other heinous crimes against employees at Harrods, and it also turns out allegedly at Fulham as well. And it was politely declined. They basically said, no, there's no need to do that, there's not enough evidence, blah 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 blah. So totally unrelated, Keir Starmer was the head of the IPC at the time, which has not got any relevance to what the story, it's just an observation. Delegates at the Labour conference vote to reverse the removal of the winter fuel payments. So this is the unions and the general members, but it's non-binding. And of course Keir Starmer says, well, we're still going to do it anyway. We can't change our minds about this, although he's changed his mind about everything since he got elected leader of the Labour Party. Is it going to be a tidal barrier on the River Mersey? Is it a good idea? I think it is. I think it's one of the few things that you can rely on, tides. They are 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, regular as, well, tides. More than wind, more than sun, and everything else. So I think a electrical... What are you doing? What are you doing? Are you looking innocent now? So, nothing. But no, I think it's a good idea. Produce electricity using the River Mersey, because the river flows all the time, and it's the most tidal river, certainly in the northwest, possibly in the country. So it seems like a jolly good idea to me. Of course, whether it is for the people who live in Liverpool or not, I don't know, but we will find out. Keir Starmer, whilst in America, admits using an £18 million house, which was donated use of, which would have cost 20 grand or more if it was rented, for his son to study his GCSEs, which I think is reasonable enough. I mean, it's what it seems that the Labour people who are getting all this freebies seem to be doing. Just chuck your kids under the bus rather than yourself. So yeah, we'll blame my son for wanting peace and quiet to study his GCSEs. I mean, have they not got any grandparents he could stay with? Has he not got any uncles or anyone else where he could go and stay and study for his GCSEs, appreciating that at the time of the GCSE his dad was trying to become the president, I nearly said then, in his wet dreams, the Prime Minister of Britain, so I imagine it was chaotic. But no, let's chuck Keir Starmer's son under the bridge, under the tunnel, under the bus even, whilst other Labour people who've got like free gifts to see Taylor Swift chuck their kids underneath. How could I not let my daughter stroke son, whoever is a big fan of Taylor Swift, not go and see Taylor Swift when we get free tickets to go and see Taylor Swift? They don't see the hypocrisy of this? Of course they don't. All this is from Lord Ali as well. And yeah, Labour literally throwing their own children under the bus. What are you doing, Silence? Do you want something to sit on? Here, have a something to sit on. Look, there you go. She likes bags to sit on. She likes a good bag to sit on, which is ironic because the previous cat I had didn't like bags at all. She hated them. Anyway, sorry. 37 prisoners were released by mistake during the release programme by Labour. Apparently some of these people are not fit to be in society, and up to Wednesday there were still 5 or 6 of them, they weren't sure exactly how many, that were still out loose, doing whatever they do. Remember, bearing in mind that we did have one that was arrested on the day of release, or the day after the day of release, for sexual activity with a woman on the day of his release. I mean, you know, you couldn't make this stuff up. So sadly, it's what's happening. It is what is going on in this world, and it is heinous and horrendous. Will we ever see the end of it? I don't know. I mean, you know, you flip-flop between the Tories, who are rubbish, And then we go to Labour, who are so far worse. Popularity ratings are going through the floor as well. But anyway, more of that later. Thursday the 25th, Met Police say 19 women have contacted them over more Al-Fayed sexual rape allegations, and not a single charge was made in 20 years of women contacting the Met Police, who apparently did get in touch with the IPC, who said there's not enough evidence. Our current Prime Minister was in charge at the time. Interesting to see, how people get to where they are, being trustworthy and honest and helpful. Israel claimed targeted strike on Hezbollah was in Beirut, but many children were killed and injured, and this is in South Lebanon. Over 50 children were killed this week in Lebanon. Bearing in mind that the main war is in Gaza. But no, he's getting further afield. There's more. This guy should be in The Hague. This guy should be locked up. Trump to meet UK Prime Minister, but he's not going to see Kamala Harris whilst in America. Yeah, I've no idea what he was doing. But anyway, severe floods in Kent and Oxfordshire as well, and many other areas, and even reports of a tornado, although it was more like a wet fart, but still, we've had tornadoes recently. If you remember the one in Staley Bridge where my mother lives, there was a tornado there that ripped the roofs off houses and the gable end off a house as well. Jaguar Land Rover are to waste £500 million on electric cars in Halewood, but they're keeping it all flexible just in case we don't go down that route. Well, maybe they should be spending £500 million in hydrogen cars and then getting energy companies to make hydrogen, because hydrogen is a better plan than electric cars, which is why I said they're wasting £500 million. And then the one that they've got no money, we've gone bust, what we're supposed to do now? Oh no, we've gone bust, we can't do anything. What's going on? Oh no, what's going on? Can't do anything. No. Like that, because they spent all the money on stupid electric cars which are not the future. See my rants previously on ER. Friday the 27th of September 2024, and Beirut is rocked by multiple blasts from Israel. Again, they say it's targeted the head of Hezbollah. Meanwhile, Benjamin Netanyahu is in New York and even ordered it, the strike, on the phone in a hotel room in New York. I mean, the guy just does not let up. Yeah, Hezbollah, Hamas, and what's the other one? I've written it down somewhere. There's three of them anyway. They are terrorist organisations, they need to be destroyed, but not the way that he's doing it, because he's killing innocent people, many innocent people. But there you go. This year's going too quick, you're right, we're in October soon, get ready for, I don't know when Halloween is, but if this was on Halloween, I'd be dressed up as some kind of spooky thing. Although I don't need to, some people say, because I'm spooky enough as it is. Dame Maggie Smith dies, aged 89, famous actress for many decades. A lot of the younger generation will know her from most recently Harry Potter and the Lady in the Van movie, and many other people know her from Downton Abbey, but she had a huge and massive career, and also a very good sense of humour as well. So Dame Maggie Smith, who passed away this week. So Keir Starmer received a further £16 in clothing, £16,000 in clothing allowance, but says no rules were broke. The total now is 32,000 from Ali, of course, but he put it down as stuff for his private office, not his clothes, which to me is misleading if it's not illegal. He realised, so then he changed where it was. Car rants, thanks Toff. I mention anything on my channel and Toff finds it. I don't know how he does it, it's amazing. Two boys sentenced to life in prison, a minimum of 8.5 years each. They're currently aged, well, they were aged 12 when they used either one or two machetes to kill another young man, aged 15 I think it was, and it brought back memories of Jamie Bulger, who was the toddler who was kidnapped and horrifically killed in Bootle, Liverpool, many years ago. Now they've said it's a minimum of 8.5 years each, so that would make them, because they're 13 now, that would make them, well, to be fair, it goes back from when they were arrested, doesn't it? So that would make them 20 minimum. It means they don't get parole until that age, and if they are deemed to be safe for the public, they will be released. Now the Jamie Bulger case, you know, Terry Venables, who was released along with the other guy, but then immediately committed crimes, including child pornography on the internet that he got. So I'm not sure that these two young lads should be ever released. But again, you know, if it was something like, you know, manslaughter or something like that, but to have a machete at 12 and use it, now there's something wrong there, definitely, like there was with the Bulger case. Al Fayed, more claims emerge in Paris at the Ritz Hotel, which he owned. Apparently there were people there who reported him to the French police and nothing happened. As far as I'm aware, Keir Starmer was not involved with anything to do with the French police. It's confirmed that the IDF did kill the leader of Hezbollah. This is Saturday the 28th of September. And now fears that it's going to be all-out war in Israel, etc. Today, Sunday, Hezbollah say more IDF strikes have killed more people, including the Houthis in Yemen, which is a long way away. So he's now got 3 people who he's currently bombing and killing innocent people as well. The Conservative Party begin their conference over the weekend, and there's 4 people left in the race to be leader. By the end of the conference there'll be 2, at which point the members of the Conservative Party, all 4 of them, will then vote on who they want as leader. I must be honest, none of them seem great, but let's be honest, the best one they've had in the last few was Rishi Sunak, but it's a very low bar. I mean, there have been points where I think we should bring Liz Truss back as Prime Minister, but you know, maybe not. An 8-year-old tragically died after being shot in the face and head. A 60-year-old man has been arrested for unlawful killing. Rose Duffield, MP, has resigned from the Labour Party, saying that Starmer is a hypocrite. I mean, like we didn't know already. But anyway, she's pointed it out. She says that he is full of sleaze, nepotism. In fact, the nepotism of the Labour Party leaders is off the scale. There are more females in the cabinet than there's ever been in the cabinet, but she claims that the women in the cabinet are just there to make up the numbers, and it is run by the lads, and the women in the cabinet have very little say on what's going on. There are more strikes going on as well as we speak. Laney says, I assume referring to the 2 13-year-olds, cushy life locked away. It is cushy life locked away, but we don't have a sentence in here like in America with death penalties and things like that, and I'm not sure, even if there was death penalty, that 12 13-year-olds deserve that kind of fate. I mean, obviously the young man who was slaughtered by these 2 didn't deserve to die either, but I'm not into this eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth thing. I think if people suffer for a long length of time in prison, then that is a good thing, you know, just as long as they do, and if they do reform themselves and do get let out and become model citizens, then fair play. But yeah, death sentence, I'm not really into that kind of thing. Anyway, that brings us to the news that makes you go, I don't know, right? Where we look at the news items that may not have been shown or even Where am I? Oh, I need to get rid of this. This is where it gets confusing because I have to change the mode I'm in. What the hell's that? Oh, there we go. I'm with it now. I'm back on. I'm back in the room. Although technically I didn't live. Some people say I should have left, but I didn't anyway because I don't. I like it in this room. I like it here wherever it is. That's a very random reference that only one person will get. Are you alright, Duff? So yeah, here we go. 29th of the 9th, and interestingly, it's the anniversary of the launch of the original PlayStation, and they brought back the original logo. It's the 30th anniversary, so they're bringing back relaunched, rebranded current consoles, coloured and with the logos and everything on from that period. There's a town in Poland where all 6,000 residents live on the same street. That's not really a town then, is it? It's a road. Hashtag just saying. Woolies are taken to court in Australia. The Competition and Consumer Watchdog has launched legal action against Coles, another big supermarket there, and Woolworths over allegedly misleading discounts on hundreds of products. The ACCC alleges the supermarkets offered certain products at a regular price for at least 6 months before increasing prices by at least 15% for a short period, and then subsequently placing them into their prices dropped or down programs. We allege these misleading claims about illusionary discounts diminish the ability of consumers to make informed choices, said the ACCC chair, Gina Gottlieb. Yeah, basically what it means is, and we all know that electrical companies have done this for a while, they will have a product, allegedly, they'll have a product at a price, so say a colour TV at £499, and it's like that for 6 months. Then they put the price up to £599 for a few weeks, but then they're allowed to drop the price to £499 and then say they've knocked £100 off the price, whereas they haven't. It's the same price it was before they put the price up. And basically companies have been getting away with that for quite a while. Woolies and Coles are being looked into that. They're also being looked into the fact that during COVID and the war in Ukraine, they artificially inflated prices as well. So Australian government is actually looking into these companies, and I'm pretty sure that Tesco, Asda, Sainsbury's, Woolworths and other supermarkets may, although I've no proof, be possibly looking over their shoulders over what's going on in Australia and thinking, oh, the British government doesn't realise what we allegedly may have been up to. Black Friday, yeah, Amazon do it every year, absolutely. Their prices are going up as we speak, which is why I bought my new laser printer when I did, before they went up for Black Friday. So this was news breaking as... I've dripped on myself. No, not as I dripped on myself. As Rachel Reeves was telling at the Labour Party conference what a wonderful Chancellor she is and how successful she's been in stopping all the strikes. Nurses have rejected the government's pay award of 5.5%. At the exact moment Rachel Reeves boasted about setting pay disputes in public services. I mean, I'm not saying they did it deliberately, but a genius, well done. Ladies and gentlemen, Sir Keir Starmer has picked his patsy. Won't be long before the executioner's axe fall and all the sleaze and hypocrisy is levelled at her. So, yes, Sue Gray has handed Lord Ali the keys to number 10. PM's embattled Chief of Staff personally approved Downing Street Pass for pier at the centre of the donor row. So this is the Lord Ali, who's been giving all the money to Labour before and after the election apparently, got a key or a pass to go into the number 10 Downing Street whenever he wanted to. I mean, why you would give a pass to anyone for that, I had no idea, unless of course they've got more stuff than what we're saying. This was in Glastonbury apparently, not the one on the right, the one on the left, and it's basically pointing out the similarities between Egyptian gods and, well, everyone in Glastonbury. Beggars believe. Can we all have a key? No, we can't all have a key. Why do you want a key to go in there? Back in 1975, The Muppet Show predicted what most women would look like in 2024. It's not wrong. Oh. As I always say, Chairman Mao would be proud because everyone looks the same these days, particularly under 20s. If you're a lad, you wear black, you've got the black puffer jacket thing, black jeans or black trackies, black shoes. If you're a girl, you look like that. Heavily tanned, false eyelashes, exploded lips, too much makeup, and straightened blonde hair. Which, I mean, say Simpsons predicts things. Well, 1975, The Simpsons wasn't even a thing. Pretty sure this guy had a hard time parking, and there's we didn't see the video of it, but you can see the aftermath of it. Now we all know the advert, the little girl going into the shop asking for a bar of chocolate. It's for my mum. Well, it's been memed. I'd like a blanket, please. It's for my nana. Obviously to do with the pension being removed, not the pension, the payments being removed from pensioners. This was a clip that someone posted online. Passengers travelling first class on British Airways Boeing 747s, obviously an old paperclip, are worried about redesign, which means some lavatories have windows. A woman travelling to New York complained there were no blinds. She was told by a stewardess, "Madam, if some pervert is clinging to the side of this aircraft at 35,000 feet, they deserve to see everything." Which, yeah, absolutely, yeah, it's some people. So a guy holding up a sign there, "Wife and dog kidnapped by ninjas, need money for karate lessons. I really want my dog back." I'd like some clothes, please, there for Keir Starmer. Very good. This would never happen in Britain in a trillion years. In Japan, those who arrive early to work park in a parking lot further away from their workplace in order to give way to those who arrive late to make it in work on time. This is called mutual understanding. Never happen in Britain. That would never happen in Britain. They are too polite in Japan about everything. Good news, you know how much I hate vaping. It should be banned, except for people trying to give up smoking, but it shall only be the flavour of cigs. Teen vaping in the United States hits a 10-year low, dropping to nearly 6% of students. So the Americans, who are as thick as pig shit most of the time, have actually cottoned on to the fact that vaping is going to kill them young. So only 6% do it. I reckon there's only about 6% of Brit teens who don't do it. I've got no proof of that. 10 hospitalised in a tank collision. 10 people, it's Australia. 10 people have been taken to hospital after a military training incident involving Australian and Singaporean troops in central Queensland. 9 News understands 2 tanks, 1 Australian and 1 Singaporean, collided about 8:30 p.m, leaving 10 people injured and taken to Rockhampton Hospital, which is a bit of a trek because that's near the... oh, it must be Rockhampton in Australia. How to feel old? 33 years ago today, Nirvana released their iconic generation-defining second studio album, Nevermind. Notice anything mysterious about that picture? That's right. The world's most famous Willy has been removed. Nice, easy shift. This is a picture of a lollipop lady. I assume it's a lollipop lady, could be a lollipop man, I have no idea. On a zebra crossing with children and someone with a pram crossing at the same time on a road where immediately after the zebra crossing there's a big fence up, and before the zebra crossing it says road closed, so there's no traffic whatsoever, but the lollipop person is still stood there with a lollipop. The baby sued because his pic was used on another. Yeah, but he lost his case. Plus, not only that, he had been around the world on various TV shows. I think it was even on This Morning, being paid to travel around the world because of that picture. So you can't have your cake and eat it. But anyway. Another meme for Keir Starmer. Again, this one is genius. We're talking about a missing sausage in that picture. Well, as we all know, we want to free the sausages. So here's a meme. Now, only people of a certain age will get this, but it is hilarious. It is the opening sequence to Grange Hill, and there's a picture there of Keir Starmer on the... if you don't know Grange Hill, the opening sequence was basically a comic strip of being at school, and someone's put Keir Starmer with his fork in his hand, waiting for the sausage, and there's the picture, original picture, had the sausage flying through the air during class or during dinner break, and yeah, hilarious. We are old. Yeah, we are old. That's why I'm saying you have to explain these things to people. It is scary. We don't have to explain Banksy though. If at first you don't succeed, call an airstrike. And that's near the Shard. No, it's not the Shard. That is it. No, that's not the Shard. That's in America somewhere. But yeah. Yeah. Go at Benjamin Netanyahu, I assume. This was a natural phenomena caught on camera in various different places around the world, to be fair. It's a halo ring, and it forms under very rare circumstances, but can be seen obviously for a considerable distance. Meanwhile in Montana, a handful of cows found their way into a newly built home and lived in it for a month before being noticed. The family that was moving from Washington, their aunt was supposed to be checking the place, but she didn't. A rancher had filed a report about missing some cattle and even checked their barn, but not the house. They think a bad storm sent them looking for cover. They also think the storm blew a door in or opened somehow, and one of the cows nudged it open, and they lived there. Now, on that picture, it doesn't look too bad until you see the floor, which is just covered in manure. But the cow just looking gleefully. Yeah, we like it here. We're going to stay here. Neighbours are friendly and quiet. So, yeah. How can you not notice cows in a house? It's madness. Well, that's more sheep, isn't it? Anyway, let's move on, shall we? To other news that made me go like that. Or ugh. Electric vehicles not the future. You thought smoking at the pump was risky. This is basically, you're told not to be smoking when you're filling your car up with petrol. Well, this is a Tesla parking lot with lots of chargers that's under probably about 4 or 5 inches of water. Move on. Let's move on. Yeah, let's move on. We've moved on. Meanwhile, sad to hear that Chris Searle has passed away. Again, only people of a certain age will know who Chris Searle was. He was one of the guys on That's Life, and also did lots of TV shows on various different things. And he's passed away this week. I think he was in his 80s though. Marty McFly went from 1985 to 1955, which seemed like a long way back. Which is like travelling back from to 1994 from today. I mean, how does that even work? I mean, it's the same length of time, 30 years. But 1955 in 1985 seemed like a hell of a long while ago. Like before we were born. But 30 years back to 1994 seems like about 10 years. Oh my God, I'm officially really old. Well, I am in November, but that's another story. All Labour councillors in Wigan have voted to stop nearly all questions by independent councillors at a full council meeting and stop them having 5 minutes to speak. So basically, this is for Wigan people, and this will appear in the newspaper. Labour councillors have voted to change the constitution of Wigan Council, which means that all councillors, including Labour councillors, were allowed to ask a question at a full council meeting where all the councillors turn up about what concerns them about their ward, so what the constituents have said. And the worry is that now they've changed this, so the councillors can't actually ask the questions anymore. They have to put the question in writing on the Friday before the meeting, so that the response can be given out. But if 5 Labour councillors have asked questions before, then no other councillors can ask questions, because there's a maximum of 5 questions to be asked at a council meeting. And it's asked by the mayor on behalf of the person asking the questions. So as I've written in the paper, whether it gets published or not, I don't know, but it will see the light of day one way or the other. If 5 Labour councillors all post questions like, are they going to put winter pansies in the tubs around the borough to replace the summer ones which are dying now, because obviously we're coming to the end of summer, that would be a question, which means no other question could be asked. Is the grass going to get mown somewhere, or whatever? Just pointless questions, rather than the important questions as, you know, are we going to fix nuisance bike riders on streets through estates or on footpaths through estates? Are we going to, what's going on in Wigan Town Centre, blah 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 blah. And the word democracy seems to be being eradicated from Wigan politics, even more than it already was, because as a member of the public you're not allowed to ask questions at a council meeting. So yeah, and funnily enough, the majority Labour councillors voted for this. The good news is, the next election, if the majority are not Labour councillors, they can revoke it. Qantas, the airline, has got strike action. Up to 1,100 Qantas engineers, democracy's a dirty word nowadays, you're not wrong, will down tools as 2 weeks of strike action takes off. The industrial action over paying conditions will kick off in Melbourne, but there are plans for it to go nationwide at all major airports. The Qantas Engineers Alliance said the strike is highly likely to affect flights in all major capitals. However, a Qantas spokesman said the airline had put in contingency plans in place. So the guys who work in the office are going to fix the planes. What could possibly go wrong? Mini-moon will soon enter Earth's orbit and could hang around for some time. So we've got this meteorite, asteroid, whatever it is, that's going to be caught in Earth's gravity for a period of time. The moon isn't actually a moon if you watch QI. It's something else. It's not the moon. We call it the moon, but it's not a moon. But this will be classed as a moon, even though it's not the moon. But it won't be here for long. It will then fly somewhere else. It'd be interesting if it... I don't think it's big enough to have gravitational pull, but it could affect the weather down on Earth. It might even improve it, who knows. I mean, what was the weather like millions of years ago? Well, 30 million years ago, it was a bit... a praying mantis ended up in a bit of a sticky situation. It's a 30 million year old praying mantis, and it was discovered encased in a piece of amber. Looked like it was trying to get out of this blob of amber, but sadly didn't do. I say sadly, there'd be no trace of it now, so in a way it's quite cool that it got caught in this amber, so we can see what a praying mantis looked like 30 or so million years ago. But remember, you know, if you believe the fairy tales, Earth didn't exist 30 million years ago. It was only created 2,000 years ago. We had civilization by then. Fascinating. The Cure, the band, confirmed details of Songs of a Lost World album. I'm I won't say massive fan of The Cure, but one of my favourite tunes of all time is The Walk, which has the repeated through it, all the way through. It's just brilliant. Take me for a walk. Of course I changed the words. Why are people retracting? What is going on here? What is going on? People retracting things. It's very unusual. Very unusual. Free speech here. For most people. As you all know, the only sport I like is Formula 1. Amazing picture. Oh, spell check on iPad, I'll let you off then. Ricciardo is let go by Red Bull. He will be missed but will always hold a special place in the Red Bull family, said a Red Bull spokesman. Daniel Ricciardo, the Honey Badger Formula 1 driver, is one of the most popular and likeable drivers on the grid, was released by Red Bull overnight and will be replaced immediately by Liam Lawson, who was released for Daniel Ricciardo to take his place. This is how Red Bull work, it's very peculiar. But yeah, he is one of the favourite people in Formula 1, and one of my other favourite people in Formula 1, although he doesn't race now but did race back in the 90s, was David Coulthard, who was in Wigan overnight for an event at Three Sisters Raceway. He stayed in a hotel where one of my mates works, and he said, David Coulthard is in the hotel. I'm like, cool. I resisted the urge to go around, but yeah, I kind of wanted to, but I didn't. Viva Mark, yeah, I'm not so bad today, thank you very much, Viva Mark, hope you're good too. This is Australia, reporting the passing of Maggie Smith, Dame Maggie Smith, who won an Oscar for the Prime of Miss Jean Brodie in 1969, and the new fans as the Dowager Countess of Grantham in Downton Abbey has passed away aged 89. She was definitely one of the best actresses that we produced. I say we, I didn't produce her. This is some amazing art. French artist realistic graffiti that seems to jump off the wall. I mean, it does, doesn't it? It's just superb. It only works, I would imagine, at certain angles, but it is really good. A bit like the artwork that you see done on chalk on roads and things like that, where they, on social media, where they just throw a bucket of water over it afterwards. That is a really, really good piece of work. I do think that is fantastic. This is true, isn't it? Girls' bathroom, boys' bathroom. Man has a tube of toothpaste in it as well, but other than that, that's pretty much it. Flink's got a new keyboard. Well, there you go. Breaking news. Breaking news. Breaking news. Breaking news. Breaking news. Hang on. Breaking news. Breaking news. Flink has got a new keyboard. Breaking news. Breaking news. That's the answer. The breaking news. Flink has got a new keyboard. So there you go. We like to break the news as and when. Congratulations on the purchase, or theft, of your new keyboard. You should do cameos, that was great. No, who knows who I am? I do them live. People ask me to say birthdays and things to people and then go buy at the end of it, which is all a bit weird, but there you go. A company in Japan gives employees who don't smoke an extra 6 holidays every year to make up for cigarette breaks. And the company has now found that the new policy give a lot of other employees the push to finally quit smoking. I think that is genius, because there's nothing worse than having people who smoke in your office or shop or whatever, always going for cigarette breaks or vape breaks, when you don't smoke and you don't get them. So yeah, they give us 6 extra holidays a year, days holiday, not 6 extra holidays. I think that genius, and that would work better than vaping. Back to Dame Maggie Smith, some of the famous images of her, including when she met the Queen, when she got her damehood, and there she is in Harry Potter and Downton Abbey, and as a much younger actress in a black and white picture. That's how I know she was younger, because the picture's black and white. I don't normally do cartoons, because I don't normally see them, but I've seen this one. Nanny State's Pub. Happy hour is from 5 till 6, but closing time is 5. Basically, Keir Starmer and his Keir Starmer and the lads have now decided that pubs shouldn't be open as much in order to make them more closed down, I would assume. And therefore we go to an alcohol-free state, which is what he wants, because a lot of his friends and a lot of people who he panders to don't drink alcohol. So why pander to people who do drink alcohol? Let's make it difficult for them, shall we? Yeah. Why do humans stop building wonders? Asked someone. Siddharth Singh replied, "We didn't." There is a building in the shape of a fish. I mean, yeah, it's not as grand as a cathedral, but it's pretty grand. It's pretty spectacular. It reminds me of a computer game called Parodius. Not even Toff will get that one. But that is hilarious. So you might do. You might play Parodius, I don't know. A new underwater statue is branded morbid, creepy and disturbing. So this is a statue that has been placed deliberately underwater, and it's frightening people. Why, you ask? What, Parodius? It was a shoot 'em up where there were fish coming at you. Don't worry about it. New underwater statue. There you go. I mean, what is possibly even remotely creepy about that? Exactly. Let's have some light humour, shall we? Kenneth Williams. Oh, I sigh. I can't stand innuendo. If I see one in a script, I whip it out immediately. That's why he was in Carry On. It's genius. Oh, they won't be able to make this these days, but the fascio is 30 years old, over 30 years old now. And don't they look young there? Ooh, suit you, sir, suit you, sir. Oh, sir. Ooh, does she like it, sir? Does she? Does she like it, sir? Does she? Does she? Do you like it, sir? Ooh, do you like it? The fascio, Scorchio, and all that kind of thing. 1994, 30 years ago. Oh, stop feeling old. We can't, because we are old. Rishi Sunak spoke at the Conservative conference. I want to thank all Conservative members for the support they are giving me and everything they do for our party. The same members who got rid of you. We have 4 great candidates to be the next leader. Let's unite behind the winner. That's the reason why they failed at the last election, because they didn't unite. They couldn't see they weren't uniting. Today, I will mostly be eating raw cabbage. Kids today will never understand the buzz of getting a perfect conker. This is genuinely inhumane. Not a single conker cherished in this world anymore. And there's loads of conkers just left on the floor because obviously kids of today don't want to smash conkers up. Paranoid P. Diddy refusing to eat in jail as he's placed on suicide watch. Coombs is currently being held in the Metropolitan Detention Centre in Brooklyn in the US. He's also awaiting trial on transportation to engage in prostitution charges. And also, I've caught a snippet of stuff that Justin Bieber, when he was a young lad, also hung around with P. Diddy. So there could be stuff coming out there. Either, I say hopefully, not Justin Bieber being involved in the activity, but then it's more horrifying to think that Justin Bieber might have been a victim of activity. Or it might just be fake news. You never know, do you? Just like Epstein. There's more of that later on. US banking deserts as high street... UK's banking deserts as high streets see no cash access for Brits. There's many towns now, including Staley Vegas, where there are no high street banks anymore. They've all shut down. And it's pushing us towards a more controlling society. Sorry, I mean cashless society. No, I mean controlling society. There'll be laws involved with the Diddy thing. That you're not wrong there, sadly. UFO whistleblower claims Taliban will rescue US or us from imminent alien invasion. A self-described alien expert, I put the word nutter, said we could be just days away from the world being turned upside down, with humans having to contend with global war and alien invaders. But the Taliban will save us all. It's like, what the fuck? I mean, seriously. Meanwhile, someone who doesn't look like 1975 Muppet. Oh, model convinced sensitive dog is gay and tries to find him a boyfriend online. An influencer is on the hunt for a boyfriend for her sensitive dog Bartholomew after claiming that he is obsessed with other male pooches and looking for love. I'm sorry, I can no longer unsee that. Oh, attention-seeking bimbo. Oh my word. Oh, this will bring us back down to earth with a bump. Always wrong Indian Nostradamus makes bold US election prediction. Kumar uses the Vedic astrology chart to make his predictions. Although some would suggest he should probably look for some other form of prediction medium, given his recent record of being shite. Pubs fear as government's 50p pint tax hike could mean paying over £8 for a pint of beer. The British Beer and Pub Association, BBPA, has warned that proposed tax hikes could see the price of pints going up by around 50p depending on the strength of the beer. So we all drink Skull, it will go up by 2p. We all drink a Guinness, although this isn't Guinness, it will go up by 80p. I don't think whoever wrote this is a fan of Donald Trump. Evolution of Trump, from pink insecure little boy to orange intolerant man baby. Donald Trump hasn't always been orange. Sorry. Donald Trump hasn't always been orange-faced Republican hunch, we know today. There's sorry, I can't go in it. It's I don't know what it is actually. The one in the green can. Yeah, I'm not even carrying on with that story. That was enough. Meghan Markle's first gift to the Queen was torn to shreds within minutes. Meghan Markle was left red-faced after the late Queen's corgis destroyed the hamster she had gift-wrapped for the first royal Christmas at Sandringham back in 2017. Who gives the Queen a kid hamster? I assume it was a stuffed one. I don't think it was a real one. I don't know what the green stuff is, but anyway. Spanish hotspot half empty as tourists abandon it in response to protests. A Spanish holiday resort has been left half empty as tourists have abandoned the area in response to protests calling for immediate measures to tackle overcrowding. Well, yeah, is it not just the fact that it's like autumn now and people don't go there as much in the winter? Ireland, once most densely populated place on Earth, now barren for one reason. The once symbol of Japan's industrialisation, now Kashmir Island, lies deserted, touched by only nature's slow reclamation and small areas of restoration as part of its status of a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It's one of the places on the planet that I'd love to go to. Basically, a bit like Pripyat, near Chernobyl. It's an entire city in a very small area that's been abandoned. The reason it was abandoned was there was a rich coal seam found 100 plus years ago underneath the island that could only be accessed via the island. So they built a mine. It was a very successful coal seam. They also had a lot of rubble. So they pulled the rubble out and that actually extended the island. More and more people moved there because of the riches that were to be had there. And they started building apartment blocks because they couldn't stretch out, they had to build upwards. So there's multi-storey apartment blocks, but they were built very cheaply. They even built apartment blocks on existing apartment blocks without actually strengthening the ones underneath. There were schools, hospitals, everything. People literally lived and died on that island and never left it. Everything you needed was on there. It's a bit like a 15-minute city, which we're maybe looking at after the next budget. But anyway, the coal eventually run out, and literally everyone moved off the island. Everyone just left, and now it's been abandoned. I think one of the James Bond movies had a film there. Yeah, it's off the coast of Japan. It was on, I think it was in the very first Abandoned Engineering, Season 1, Episode 1 of Abandoned Engineering, which you can watch on You, which is the streaming service for the Yesterday channel, or You and Yesterday as it is now. They also did Pripyat as well, and it's amazing, it really is, to see. And those are two places I love to go, and Pompeii as well, which is another abandoned place as well. But yeah, I don't know why it's made the news, but I thought, oh yeah, I'll have to put that up because it's something that I'm interested in. Just Stop Oil Yobs jailed for pouring soup over Van Gogh painting. Phoebe Plummer and Anna Holland, both members of Just Stop Oil, were sentenced at Southwark Crown Court after they poured soup on the artwork in October 2022. So finally justice for people who are actually just a bit sick in the head. Whereas people who said something a bit unpleasant on social media got jailed straight away. But you commit a heinous crime like pouring soup over something like that and it takes 2 years for justice. A woman spots Freddie Mercury in chewing gum stuck to car park floor. He's come back from the dead and he got his shoe stuck in the chewing gum and he couldn't pull himself off. Hey, Kenneth Williams, eat your heart out. Queen Camilla was pinned down by a ghost in the middle of the night, says her son. The Queen was once pinned down in the middle of the night by a ghost, according to her son, Tom Parker Bowles, who has lifted the lid on the hauntings of his childhood home. Yeah, no, it was probably Prince Charles coming around for a bit of rumpy pumpy, and she just said it was that, Man comes home to find wife breastfeeding chimp. Said she did what come naturally. A new show follows the life of self-professed Dolly Parton of chimpanzees, a blonde cosmetic surgery fan who initially worked for exotic breeder caring for 7 apes at a primate foundation. Ghosts. Talking of ghosts, which I wasn't, but in the shop we've got a toilet. Hey, it's a one up from the last show. And I went to use the loo, as you do, and went into the toilet. We've got a male and female toilet, although we call it poo toilet and wee toilet. And I went in for the poo toilet, and I'm sat there, and the previous occupants built a door. They built a wooden wall really badly, and a door on the wooden wall, and the door's got no springs on it, no nothing. So I'm sat down on the loo, doing what you do, and there was this crash, this loud noise, and I thought that's a bit peculiar. It must be next door because the walls are quite thin, and there may be, they may have dropped something next door or anything. So I didn't think anything of it. I did what I had to do. So a couple of minutes later, I came out of the cubicle area, or the poo toilet area, and that door was shut. And I don't mean ajar, I mean shut, catch on and everything. And I'm like, there's only me in the shop. I didn't hear any footsteps walking along because you have to walk along the corridor to get to and from this door. Didn't hear any footsteps, and nothing had moved when I got downstairs. But it was very weird. So I even opened the door, because the door was always pretty much wide open. So if that's the door frame, the door is always like that. I've never ever shut it. But it was like that, absolutely shut. So I opened it and then pulled it towards, just to see if it did shut by itself, and it didn't. But I don't believe in ghosts. The irony was, if I knew what had happened, I might have shit myself. The irony was, I already was. So, there you go. Oh, I'm not going back to breastfeeding chimpanzees. School kids keep walking headfirst into lampposts while playing on their phones. Phones are causing trouble for children up and down the country as they end up going headfirst into lampposts. They even admitted it happens to. They even admit it's happened to them. Now, I did walk into a lamppost once, concrete one, left a very long friction burn on my face. I'd be about 19, 20 at the time, just before I bought my first car, and I was in Glossop in Derbyshire, going to work, and I was walking along the road, busy road, and there was a car showroom opposite, and I was looking at the cars in the car showroom, and walked smack into a lamppost, which had only been put there a few days earlier. David Beckham performed sex act while looking at Man United legend for an initiation. Manchester United legend David Beckham once revealed he had to perform a sex act while looking at Clayton Blackmore's calendar during a club initiation. I can only think that means having happy time. But where's everyone else watching him? Because that'd be fucking weird, wouldn't it? Drives me mad seeing people looking at their phones while walking. It happens all the time now, doesn't it? Literally, more than ever. Temperatures, we're currently in a yellow weather warning for rain in the northwest, and much of England, to be fair, and Wales. But apparently temperatures to surge in the UK as weather maps show exact date. Indian summer hits. Brits are expected to get a late surge of warm weather with temperatures predicted to reach into the 20s as we bask in an Indian summer. At the moment, I've got my heating on. I'm saying I've got it on, I'm just testing it for when it goes really cold. I'm not cold really. Spotify down as hundreds of users losing their minds in silence. Spotify users have reported issues accessing the service of music streaming giant today, with people complaining their daily tasks have been ruined without music to get them through. We need to get out more, don't you? Whenever I walk around, and I do a lot of walking, I don't listen to Spotify. Have I even got Spotify on my phone? Yeah, I must have Spotify on my phone. Yeah, because I use it as my alarm. That's the only time I use it. Can I access Spotify? Is it working? Cookie settings. Okay. Right, is it working? Laurie Anderson, Big Science, fantastic tune. That's what I wake up into the morning. Yeah, mine's working too, so they must have solved whatever the problem was, unless, you know, because I don't use it, I don't get the problem that everyone else has because they use it. I wouldn't have even noticed if it didn't work. There's lots of times stuff's gone down and I'm like, I don't even use that, I didn't notice. World's most muscular women set for Miss Olympia clash, and they're absolutely ripped. Now, I'm sorry, I don't even remotely find that. I don't. I mean, I'm going to say sexy. I mean, I just don't even find it remotely anything. It's just horrendous. And it's the same with the blokes when they do it as well. You know, I mean, we'd all like a six-pack and, you know, pecs and arms that didn't look like they were off a 12-year-old. Yeah, but I'm not going to the gym. But when they go, you know, like Arnold Schwarzenegger did back in the day, and like that, and they got these veins popping out, and then women are doing it as well. It's like, why? I think that's more a sign, like I've said previous weeks with tattoos and things like that, I think it's more a sign of mental health issues. These people should be, you know, counselled. I don't mean cancelled as in shot in the head. I mean counselled, not cancelled. You know, if you're that insecure about your body, and I'm insecure about my body, I always have been, but I've never gone down that route. I don't see how that is remotely attractive. Yeah, toned is nice. Yeah, so if you see, you know, like, I don't know, it seems wrong saying this, but you see, you know, in the summertime, a woman with a crop top on and, you know, got a, you know, a nice flat tummy, that's all right. Or you see, you know, blokes with six packs or whatever, you know, that's all right. I can live with that. I have a six pack. It's just hiding under my keg and my man boobs, which kind of cover it as well. But no, there's got to be something wrong with people who do that. Anyway, My 7-year-old son came back as his murdered uncle and told us who killed him. Braden says his late Uncle John calls through him, making him feel like a ghost. And even though the 7-year-old wasn't born when he died, the youngster insists he was there. So did he kill him as a fetus? I mean, they're getting younger and younger, aren't they, these kids with a knife crime? No, I don't have any tattoos either, or piercings. Putin looking to fine Russians for not having kids over worrying dip in birth rate. Russian couples have long been encouraged to have children to tackle the country's falling birth rate, but new legislation could now lead to childless couples being fined. I mean, you know, he's going to kill us all in the next 18 months, so what's the point of having kids? Grand Theft Auto 6 game, Rockstar game since GTA 6 Trailer 2 release date with cryptic clue. Now, a bit like Oasis, who are doing these cryptic clues around the world for their tour that doesn't tour, that's touring in America and apparently South America or Asia or wherever it is, I don't know. GTA 6 fans have been eagerly awaiting the release of the second trailer for the highly anticipated game, and if recent rumours are to be believed, it could just be days away, but the game itself probably about 2 years away, because Rockstar are famous for delaying their things. Now, we were talking earlier on about P. Diddy and Epstein and everything else, and there's a common denominator. It even includes members of the royal family in this common denominator. What is this common denominator? Oprah Winfrey. Never liked Oprah Winfrey. I really haven't. And she certainly lost any respect I had for her when she did that interview with Harry and Meghan, where she pretended to be shocked when they'd obviously rehearsed the whole thing. She's not an actress, is she? But yeah, she hangs around with all these paedophiles and alleged sex offenders. How much does she know? Will she be next? Meanwhile, and finally, Chris Eubank has said he's just written a book about ethnics. If it's successful, he'll write one about Kent and Surrey too. That's another one I'll laugh, don't we? Chris Eubank. Hello, I'm Chris Eubank. I've written a book about ethics, and if it's successful, I'll write one about Kent and Surrey too. See what we did there? Ethics. Because he got a lisp. Ethics. Chris Eubank, I've said, he has just written a book about ethics. If it's successful, he will write one about Kent and Surrey too. No, I thought it was funny. Anyway, let's move on to actual breaking news. Obviously we had the breaking news of Flink getting a new keyboard, which was the breaking news of the day. Breaking news of the day. Rain's coming. 290 boot stores are set to close, with more to follow. And it doesn't mean close because it's end of day trading. I mean close as in close. Shut. Close. Nearly 1,000 British tourists fall ill after a trip to Cape Verde. Cambridgeshire Live are predicting money changes happening in October to DWP and mobile phones. Apparently, winter fuel cut savings will be far less than Rachel Reeves expected, a new analysis finds. Well, yeah, because if they reduce it, but they're telling people to claim the benefit that lets you have it, and more people claim the benefit, then the benefit is all year, not just winter. And even if it's only £10 or £20 a week, that adds up to more than £300 that she's saving, so it's going to cost more long term. Plus, you have to process it all, which costs money as well. Labour-backed £10 billion tech hub will just have 300 permanent staff. That's a good amount of money. £10 billion for 300 jobs. Labour to change rules on minister gifts after Starmer clause row. So they've been caught out, so they're now going to say that everyone who's an MP has to claim everything, which I thought they had to do anyway. Not claim, declare everything. I thought they had to do anyway. I don't understand that. By the way, 10 things that made people realise they're not young anymore. This programme today. Israeli strikes power plant in Yemen in revenge for Houthi missile attacks. Are they allowed to do that? A man bailed over death of 8-year-old boy who was shot in the Cumbrian farm. Tory rivals turn on Badenoch over excessive maternity pay comments. She reckons that women get too much pay, even though when they have a baby, even though it's one of the lowest in the I think G7 actually. Austria's far-right Freedom Party wins general election as European allies celebrate. Fresh weather warnings issued with pretty heavy persistent rain forecast. Rishi Sunak urges Tories to end infighting to avoid future election defeats. Well, that's just common sense. If they can't see that, they don't deserve it, do they? Man sought over fatal 6-vehicle motorway collision. 1 person dead and 2 rushed to hospital following a horror triple stabbing in South London. Devastating floods hit Nepal. There's a monster tick that you need to avoid if you're a tourist. A road in Bedfordshire could be closed for weeks. What do scientists think of COVID? Boris Johnson's claims COVID was made in a lab. No idea. M&S is targeting online clothing sales in order to close down more shops. Private schools start sacking teachers ahead of the VAT rise. Chancellor says we cannot afford current and future state pension rates. So basically she's now saying that pensioners are not going to be entitled to it, or you have to be 108 before you get a pension. Starmer visits Brussels and it could lead to overhaul of Brexit deal. But Brexit means Brexit. Road shut and residents evacuated as chemical plant fire sends huge plume of smoke into the sky. That's in America. Full list of shops confirmed to be closed on Boxing Day. Well, I'm not one of them. David Beckham posts adorable family snap as he supports wife Victoria at Paris Fashion Week. Yeah, and he doesn't do a sex act, which is good. Government to overhaul rules on ministers declaring hospitality perks as well. And that is the breaking news of the week. So there you go. It's the mobile phones the government spends £60,000 on giving them to immigrants. Yeah, and then they sell them at CEX. I've no proof of that. So how have we done today? We've had 56 viewers, we've got 9 current, we've only got 3 likes, which is a shame, but it is how it is. Not everyone can agree with what I say or do, which is fair enough. Average view though is 946, which is good. We've missed Rollo and all them, they've not been on. And neither's our 2 other regulars, they've not been on either. So, yeah, but John Higginbotham, he was on. Laney, NE, he doesn't listen to all this because he finds it very very boring because it's intellectual, you know. Flink, he's got a new keyboard. Breaking news, breaking news. Viva Mark, and that's it. Oh, we got up to 5 likes, thank you. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, if indeed you still are. And I will be seeing you soon. Until then, bye. I said bye. Oh, Kim, bye.